What up? D's nuts. How's it going, guys? It's been a while since I've hopped on a stream with you guys. That girl, all over the cube skate, dashed my laddick. How you guys doing? We're gonna talk about Gifted Haters video part. What did you guys think about it? I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Did you guys like his video part? Did you hate his video part? Were you impressed or unimpressed? I want to hear it. Drop it in the chat. Yo, a 5 from that girl? Thank you. I feel you know what this feels like? This feels like that girl's like trying to motivate me to make videos because I haven't made a video in so long. But thank you. Yeah, thank you for the 5. That girl, tell me what do you think about Gifted Hater, about his video part that he just put out? Got 13 people in here. Drop it in the comments, guys. What do you think about Gifted Haters video part? I want to tell you guys what I think about it, but first I want to hear from you guys what your guys' thoughts are. Is like is the latency like really long on this? Because are you guys just like not chatting? I'm not getting like I'm not seeing the chat like move at all. Oh, okay. Okay. It just like all showed up. For some reason the chat was like nothing was happening and it just like all came through. The raw footage went harder than the music edit. Interesting. I like the director's cut better. Federico Hazama. He's all right. Nick Tucker and Chris Joslin's better. Well, yeah. Joe is not pro, but like for a guy that's not super sponsored or doesn't really have a path to go pro because he's not that good. I mean, you can't really be like comparing Nick Tucker and Chris Joslin, I feel like. Dude, okay, so what do you guys think about the music? Because I see, who is it? Federico said he liked the director's cut better, and that girl said they liked the raw footage more. I personally, call me crazy, but I thought the music was hilarious. Like, I feel like it was like ironic, but it worked. I thought it was cool. I thought it was unique because that's the thing is I feel like we're just getting so much of the same, and so the fact that he did, yeah. What up, Aaron? That music is him. Yeah, and I don't even think that like he probably doesn't even listen to that music. It was probably like this would be hilarious. Anyways, I thought it worked really, really good. I liked it a lot. Joa is better than Jocelyn. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Gifted is tight. There's something behind you. Yeah, it's a bedroom. His whole thing is ironic. The music was just what was called for. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. If you guys know who Thrash Talking is, he posted a review and he literally, it was like a 40-second thing and he just hopped on and was like, so this is my review. Everything that Joa does is supposed to be ironic. And so from the music to what he wears, everything is just kind of like satire, which I don't know how somebody lives that way at the end of the day. It's like, I feel like you almost have to put in effort to be ironic all the time. But yeah, it's definitely, I feel like fits his humor, and it's not even like that it was a complete joke. It stood out, which I thought was really, really cool. Riley, you're in school right now? What time is it where you're at? Yeah, director cut song went perfect. Yeah, uh, put a if you like the director's cut better, drop director in the chat. But if you like the original better, drop OG in the chat. I want to see how many of you guys prefer the directors over the OG. There's one director. TJ, dude, you can come skating. Director. Haven't seen the directors. Primetime, Feline. We're just gonna put you down for director. Let's see. Anybody else? Do we have one? Do we have one OG? Anybody prefer the OG? Aaron, if you're still here, I want you to know. I want to know your opinion. Did you like the director cut or the original? Gonna watch the director now. Yeah, I like both. Personally, I feel like the OG version was more captivating. It was. Oh, you haven't seen the director yet? Yeah, you should check it out. I thought the freaking Brian, dude. Dude, how am I supposed to donate $2 to you yesterday, Brian, and then you just give it right back to me, dog? I'm trying to do a nice thing, and then you won't let me do a nice thing. You give me the money back, dude. I don't know. I thought the music slapped in the OG like edit. But I feel like the director's cut, the music like starts soft and like builds and then ends like his final like banger trick, the 50-50 kickflip off the like stop sign. It like right when he landed, it was like the climax like beat of the song, and it really like brought it all together. But the downside to that, to the director's cut, was I feel like the music didn't grab you right away. And that weird like techno music, I feel like grabbed you early, but then there wasn't anything to like build towards almost. But your late shove was tight, by the way, Joe. Dude, Brian, if you're still here, I just want you to know I did a late shove today at the skate park. That's why I'm all sweaty. It took it out of me, dude, trying that late shove. It's called hyperpop music. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Dude, okay, so for anybody that's trying to learn late shoves, Brian, if somebody asks you, I feel like this is the best way to explain it. Somebody left this in a comment, and I tried it today and landed one first try. The hack, the secret to doing a late shove is you think ollie and then nollie front shove. I don't know why that made sense in my head, but when the guy left the comment saying like think of it just ollie and then late nollie shove, it just made sense. And then I tried it first try at the skate park, and yeah, it worked. That's what Aaron Cairo says too. Interesting. I'd never seen Aaron Cairo's trick tip for the late shove. I only go straight to the source, you know. I only speak to the best late shovers in the game when it comes to learning late shove. So I try and keep my the advice I get pretty pure, straight from the pure source of Brian Arnett. Brian has an NBD late shove over the LA triple set. Legend. Dude, I was thinking about that, Brian. You're a beast. When I was watching Gifted Haters like rating skate YouTubers by how good they skate. And he made that point. He's like, Brian has something that nobody else on this list has, and that's he's done a NBD on an iconic spot. And I was just like, bro, I will never. I like could live 100 lives and might never be able to do that. You know what I mean? So shout out you, dog. That was so cool. All right. I wish I could skate good. Might as well. That's weird. For all you late club types, pop shove late 1-footer. Best looking trick. Pop shove late 1-footer. Legend of Rick G. Explain that. I'm not understanding it. I'm not one to hate on tricks, but late shoves drive me nuts. Dude, I felt the same way. And then when Brian came to my skate park and he was like trying to teach to me, uh, it's just humbling, dude. You can like, I don't know. You can hate on a trick. I feel like personally, if you can't do the trick, you can't hate on it. Until you can do it. If you can do it proper and just be like, nah, that trick's whack, I can respect that. But if you can't do a trick, then um no cap though. This motivates me to get started on skating again. Yeah, go skate. Catch it and take the front foot off. Oh, I've seen Chris Chan do that. Like it's like pop shove, late ollie north. I got what you meant. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd have to be pretty in control of your pop shoves to make that look good. Otherwise, it would just look stupid. But I've seen Chris Chan do that, and it looks sick. Fine, I'll learn them to keep my right to hate on them. I think I mean that I feel like that's respectable. Like, yeah, I don't know. If you're just blindly hating it and you have no idea what goes into it, then it's like, I don't know. I think it's more valid if you can do it and then make up your mind rather than just like casting judgment on it. Let's see. I think personal style has more to do with whether or not it's whack. I agree. If you can't do it, don't hate on it. Yeah, I think that's a generally a good rule. If it's like outside your realm of understanding, like maybe don't just be like running your mouth, casting like judgment. Like maybe just stay in your own lane and be like, yeah, that's not really my thing, but like saying something's dumb or whack, like especially if you can't do it or like have no understanding of it, it makes you look dumb, I think. Yes, Chris Chan is the first person I saw do it too. I got Poo Rail to do it yesterday and it looked incredible. Um, Chris Chan also did tray flip late ollie north, which was super sick. Yeah, big fan of that. So we might have a few new people at this point. So I just want to ask the question again. Now that we've got 23 people here, which is a huge crowd, the vibe of Gifted Haters part is ironic, but those tricks are anything but. Shout out Aaron. Yeah, especially his ender. I'm not gonna lie, I watched that video part and that on top of Gifted Hater putting me on his tier list. Yeah, super creative, low impact skating. Gifted Hater puts me on his tier list and he's like, Joe doesn't belong on this list. Joe has no footage. Like, and I was like, dang, man, like, I really don't belong on this list at all. But it was like, Gifted Hater's not the best skater out there. He's obviously incredible, but it's like he's still out there in the streets getting clips that are good for him. You know what I mean? And so it kind of made me think I should make my own video part. And it may not be the best, but I feel like even if you don't have the craziest bag of tricks, you can still do it tastefully and you can still do it creatively. Like you don't need to be like hucking yourself. Like a lot of I feel like what made Gifted Haters part so cool was the spot selection. He was doing a lot of just weird, unique spots, skating things differently, stuff that you don't see all the time. So the whole thing was, I felt like really, really unique. So I appreciated that because, dude, there are so many like good skaters. It's insane. And I feel like half of them are all trying to acquire, dude, I am so sweaty. They're all trying to acquire the same bag of tricks. Local Joe VX edit inbound. If TJ edits has his way, probably not VX. I don't think TJ has a VX, but 49-year-old beginner. I just put together a street part that is totally good for me. It was a blast. As long as you're happy with your tricks and have fun doing it, doing the part, that's all that matters. Yeah, it's funny. So I've literally TJ Edits the GOAT. Shout out TJ Edits. TJ, if you're still in here, dude, drop a heart. Uh anyways, yeah, I've literally just been scoping things out. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram. I posted the other day I was at a park with my son and there was this ledge that had full like coping on it. And I've just really been like keeping an eye out for spots that I could skate that, obviously maybe it's not going to be like the greatest. I'm not going to be doing like kickflip, backtail, 270 out, like anything that cool, but I don't know, just try and do tricks that I can do and done tastefully and put together something. So I've been really, really scoping things out. I started making a list of tricks I want to do and spots I want to like hit. And I think one benefit of not living in LA is if you do find a spot like around you, probably nobody's seen it. Everything's like NBD. I don't know. Especially because I'm not skating. There's like some spots that here locally that have been, I guess, like in like a Death Wish video, but I'm not skating those. Yeah, Utah spots are pretty low key. As long as you're happy. Yeah, so I was just gonna say, now that we have all these people here, and like there's quite a bit of turnover during a stream. So I wanted to ask everybody here what you guys are thinking about the gifted hater part. Also, what do you guys think about gifted hater? A lot of people don't like him. I'm curious. I'm just streaming. I'm curious what you guys think. Fantano of skating. Jacob Estrada, he's funny. The trick is to have a really good filmer. It makes all the difference. Yeah. Shout out TJ Edits. We just need to get TJ Edits involved. I think he's willing to say what everybody is thinking. Yeah. I think that's a big like I don't know, foundational reason, like fundamental reason why Gifted Hater has been successful is because he's not afraid to say things that other people are thinking. Wish he kept his Twitch VODs. I'm not that into it actually. He's less of a hater than many other skaters. Is this Seth like the Seth from the Genuine Group Seth or a different Seth? Very true, Seth. Yeah, the thing about Gifted Hater is like as cheesy as it is, it's like gifted hating. He's not just out here hating for no reason. Like he actually has evidence, and I think he just likes presenting a case a lot of the time. Just he likes to say this is what I believe and this is why I believe it. Like if you told me homie was on the debate squad in high school, debate team, I would believe you because he just seems like he likes to almost argue for the sake of arguing. But I really appreciate like regardless if you agree with him or disagree with him, he always has reasons for why he's saying what he's saying. And sometimes the reasons are objective and sometimes they're subjective. Sometimes it's just like fully, opinion, but he lays it all out for you. So I feel like it's pretty transparent. It's not just like he's holding a grudge against anybody. It's more like on paper, this is how it is, and this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Yeah, so I really I like that like deeper analysis a little bit. Not that it's like even that deep, but I feel like most people won't even go far enough as to like show evidence for what they're claiming. And I feel like he almost always does that. I often disagree with his takes, but he can be quite funny. and I particularly enjoy his skating. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is he does it with such a good sense of humor that even me who's, like, been on the receiving end of his hating or whatever, bro, like, I laugh when he makes fun of me, I laugh, like, along with him because he does it in such a playful way. I guess humor is subjective, but to me, I think it's funny and it makes me laugh. So I'm like, I don't know. I look forward to getting roasted because it's always creative the way that he does it. Like there's there's always like haters. Like I'm not that big, but there's people that leave hate or whatever, hate like comments saying whatever about local Joe. And most of them are just like they're so not like thought through or they take no time to like do any sort of research. They just like jump to a conclusion and just like double down on it. And anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of hating that like somebody just said constructive hating. Yeah, there's a lot of like deconstructive hating, people that are just actually like I don't know, just full of like anger or resentment or whatever and just like want to pour it out on other people. And I don't think that gifted hater is like that for the most part. I think he genuinely um he likes analyzing things, but also it just seems like he kind of has a set of values and they're like almost like important to him. So he likes talking about that. And so it comes from like a more like real place than somebody that's just like my life sucks and so I want to I don't know take some shots at somebody. Um, the video with Ben was more how I would consider he would be if you met him. Yeah. Did you guys watch that video of Ben DeGrow breaking down Gifted Haters board setup? I thought it was cool. Like I've interacted with Gifted Hater just like on Instagram and whatnot, and he's always been super nice. And I feel like he's always been like respectful. But I don't know. I guess I try and be respectful as well, and so I feel like he kind of returns the favor. And he was being so nice in that tier list video of like skaters and how good their skating, like YouTubers and how good their skating is, because he was like putting me in the same tier as Brian Arnett. And Brian, if you're still here, bro, like I'm sorry, you did not need to be compared to me. Or be like alongside me. That was like so unfair. He was literally like sandbagging so hard because he was just I don't know, he's being nice to me. And I think he likes that my videos are a little bit more thought out and a little bit more creative. Um bro, Brian. Brian, you're so funny, bro. You're just gassing me up, dude. I think I disagree with Legend of Rick G about randomly hating Aaron Cairo. Wait, yeah, Rick G, what did you say? He does seem to randomly hate Aaron Cairo, but for the most part, I think you describe him very well. Yeah, I don't think it's random. I think he doesn't like Scientology because he grouped him in with Steve Barra and was like, yeah, going in. Yeah, so I don't think that's random either. Yeah, that's how I took it anyways. Um, Aaron Cairo seems like a nice dude, but yeah, I mean, I, I don't know. I don't know. With content aimed at kids, man, Aaron, dude, let's go in on this conspiracy. Keep saying things, dude. Keep saying things. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Um. Oh, just back to Brian Arnett. You're nice, dude, for saying you should have been at the top. Dude, how sick was it though that Black Ninja was a YouTube god or whatever it was, but he was at like the top tier. I'm not sure who else was at the top tier, but it's so funny to me that the first 5 to 10 minutes of every gifted hater tier list, he's setting the parameters and like setting the premise for the whole video. Like, all right, guys, we're gonna break down YouTube skaters by how good they are at actual skateboarding. And this is how we're gonna do it. And we're gonna talk about difficulty of the trick. And he sets up this whole like basically criteria for how he's gonna judge these YouTube skaters and put them into tiers. And then the rest of the video is him just completely ignoring and doing the opposite of the premise of the video that he spent the first like 5 to 10 minutes creating. And it's so funny because it's like it creates this like expectation, and sometimes he goes along with it like 60% of the time he's like going along being like, yeah, they're not very good at skating, this, that, and the other. But then like in my case he's like, but I like local Joe, and so he like bumps me up. And so it's just his, I think that's why his tier lists are so funny, is because he like creates this set of rules and then it's just constantly choosing to ignore them or like abide by them, but it's like you never know like which it's gonna be. Um, Fair enough. He's been incredibly kind to me. Legend of Rick G. You talking about Aaron Cairo? I mean, he is responsible for getting an entire generation into skating. Yeah, Legend of Rick G. Aaron Cairo has been very much kind to me personally. I don't know much about his belief system. I'm not a big fan of the main Braille channel, but I think their message is genuine and the Scientology is unrelated. Yeah, I guess that's really the question. And I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem like they've tried to like really like push Scientology through the Braille thing. So I do think that they've done a good job of separating it. However, I do feel like Braille is like I don't want smoke with anybody, but I think Braille has really let themselves go. Like I feel like this happens in business when businesses reach a certain level of size where they're no longer able to like no, it's not pushed through Braille, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, but like businesses get to a certain size where it's the creative juices are not like flowing. The synergy that was there between like say it was like Aaron and Gabe were like doing this whole thing. It gets so big, Aaron leaves, and now it's like Gabe and then Gabe and somebody else. And it's like the people that are running it now are not the people that got it to where it is. And so basically it's like what they stopped doing what they did to get there in the first place because they don't have like the same crew or whatever it is, but it definitely feels like a business. It doesn't feel spontaneous. It doesn't feel creative at all. It definitely feels like they have a formula that has worked for them in the past, and it's almost like they're not changing anything up. They're just like cranking out a video every day, a video every day. And it makes sense because they probably have advertising contracts, they probably have, overhead, they've got a big lease. And so it's like every video for them is a commercial to be able to like sell more boards or wheels, whatever they sell. And so it's almost like they've created this business that depends so heavily on them producing content that the content is so forced that it feels just so almost like it's just uncreative to me. It's not creative, and it's sad because they have a whole freaking like skate warehouse, and like they like reached the pinnacle of. And anyways, it's time for Brian Arnett to come in and take the torch and take skateboarding YouTube to heights we've never seen before. Rumor has it that Brian's buying downtown LA. I'm just kidding. But everybody, you should go watch Brian's videos because they're the best. Especially, I'm just stoked to see what is going down with him and Ashton living in LA. I feel like that's going to be like, as long as they're living there together, I feel like that's going to be like a golden era of skateboarding YouTube like content. I feel like they've got a good thing going on. It's like almost like a content house kind of. Um, so I think that's sick. All right, let's read some of these comments. I'm not a big fan of the main Braille channel, but I think their message is unrelated to Scientology. They might be nice, but I personally don't like their skating style. Yeah, car crash dummy. I something about Braille, like you have mainstream skateboarding or like core skateboarding, and Braille is definitely like not like something just doesn't mesh. Like I don't know. I feel like when you try and describe it, you just sound pretentious, but Braille's style is just it's a bit too YouTubey. It's a bit too like Logan Paul vloggy, like almost overhyped. Like it just maybe they're genuine in person, but on the camera it doesn't quite come. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm digging myself a hole here. But I really like think if it wasn't for Braille, I probably wouldn't even be skating. I probably would not have really like gotten back into it the way that I have. I think the two things that like really got me hyped on skating is Braille and Battle at the Barracks. And now both of them are like kind of going downhill. Which is kind of funny. But all right, yeah, Mr. Beats, we're talking about Braille. Very businesslike, which it is, but the content factory aspect of it kind of taints the content. Yeah, so if we're gonna like make a comparison, did you guys ever watch Fantasy Factory with Rob Dyrdek? Like, I feel like Rob Dyrdek just things just were crazy, but he came up with like a system of doing it that felt like genuine and I don't know. They created like content that was engaging and to this day is still engaging. And I feel like Braille's kind of lost their way a little bit. Um, Imagine having a place to skate like that. Well, it snows. I know, Colton. I mean, I don't have to deal with snow. Just kidding. It's actually supposed to snow here in St. George tomorrow, which sucks. Have you ever heard of Third Lair in Minnesota? Yeah, I have, because that's where you know who Ty Stigney is? Ty Stigney? If you skate at Third Lair, I'm sure you know him. He's really, really good. Yeah. So isn't like Ty Stigney, Jack Olson, um, who else? The homies on Real, Tanner Van Vark, aren't they all like from Third Lair? The reason I know about Third Lair is because of Henry Gartland. When Henry Gartland took his life, I made a video about it because I was kind of like really hyped on Henry Gartland, and then all of a sudden, I was waiting for him to like turn into like Kyle Walker, like become skater of the year. Like I just thought Henry Gartland was so gnarly and almost like underappreciated. And then all of a sudden he took his own life. And I was like gutted because I really liked him. And I don't know, for some reason it like really hit me on a personal level. And I made this video about it. And then Ty Stigney reached out and he skates for Strange Love Skateboards. And he basically told me that a lot of people didn't like that I made that video because I didn't know Henry personally. And I was like, dude, I completely understand that, but you know, it did impact me, and like, so I made the video, and that's that. And he was like, yeah, man, well, I respect it. And anyways, ever since then, I followed him, and I've asked him questions about his skating because he's super talented and whatnot. But yeah, Ty, he posted an Instagram post that was bonkers. I put it on my story. Yeah, Ty is a beast. I think he's gonna He's definitely going somewhere. He seems so motivated. All right, let's get back to these comments. Have you ever heard of Thriller? Okay, I see more and more pros starting a YouTube channel. I think the line between core and YouTube are blurring. I agree, Colton, but also I completely disagree. And the reason I agree is because, yes, you're right that more professional skaters are starting YouTube channels, but that does not make them YouTubers because they were pro first. And then it's like, okay, let me show my life being a pro skater. Like, let me show this on YouTube versus YouTubers are like me. I have no like shot in this world of ever being a pro skateboarder. And so it's like, how can I be a YouTuber so that I can skate? So I don't know if it's really actually changing anything. I just feel like it's more creating another revenue stream for pro skaters because the style of skateboard content that pro skaters make, like Tom Asta, completely different than like a YouTuber. Like the way that they approach it, like I don't think you'll ever see like a pro skater really get into like YouTube fully because their job is skateboarding. So but to be honest, that's my favorite content. Tom Asta is probably my favorite channel right now. It's the best. Just him talking about tricks, watching him do tricks. Like it's pretty much if John Hill was even more insane. As like John Hill is really good at skateboarding, but Tom Asta is like arguably one of like the top 100 most talented skateboarders like alive right now. So yeah, that's hot take. I watched Tom Asta's videos and didn't enjoy them. That's so funny, Aaron. I'm literally just like going on about how much I love Tom Asta's videos. I'd rather watch worse skaters learn. Interesting. Well, dude, I guess I'm your ideal content creator then because I am worse skater and I am trying to learn. But I personally I'm obsessed with pros. Like I just watch them over and over do a trick and like try and analyze it, all this. And so it's like Tom Asta just provides so much content that's like never been seen before and like I don't know, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. So yeah, I love watching Tom Asta's channel. Soon we're gonna hopefully fingers crossed we'll collab. I need to make that happen. All right. Okay. I have learned to be hyped on everyone who skates and is going for it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Tom's kind of cool. Loved Fantasy Factory. Storming for the next 3 days in Salt Lake. Yeah, dude, I do not miss living in northern Utah. I work at Third Layer and met all those dudes. It's supposed to snow 10 inches in Logan, bro. You guys, there is the nicest skate park in Logan where Jacob lives, and that's where my parents live. I want to go up there so bad and skate, but the weather is not. It's so much snow, so much freaking snow. Yeah, Jack is super dope. Yeah, Jack Olson's a beast. I remember when he did crook nollie flip crook, like gapping from bench to bench. It's crazy. Henry was super dope, and I got to skate with him once. I felt out of his league for sure. Yeah, I believe it. I feel like he was a bit of a like just a prodigy a little bit, like just a freak. Henry, the Jaws channel is kind of like that, Dan Corrigan style. Yeah, it's really interesting. I feel like you get these content styles, like the skateboarding niche is so small that everybody's like copying everybody. So like, I'm like trying to get away from this, but I definitely took like John Hill's content style a little bit, where it's like, all right, here's a quick like little fact or whatever, a hook to get you to like get you interested, and now I'm gonna have a skate session, and then at the end of the video, we'll talk about what the title of the video was, and so that like I definitely kind of took that because John Hill was like one of the most successful like skateboard create YouTube creators ever, right? So I definitely stole like that template from him, but a lot of people did. And then Dan Corrigan comes along, and Dan Corrigan, he starts like he's doing his unique thing, just like talking to the iPhone, flipping it around at all of his homies, like it's like this crazy thing. Never seen it before. We're like, man, like Dan Corrigan's videos are sick. And then you see everybody doing the Dan Corrigan style. You know what I mean? Like it just gets out of control. Like people just are all copying each other, and I'm guilty along with everybody else, but definitely I think that's why I like Tom Asta, his YouTube channel, is because he's not a YouTuber. He doesn't know like the rules, or he doesn't, know how people like do it per se. He's just gonna do it the way that he does it, and he doesn't need to do it any type of way because he's already a professional skateboarder. Like his name's on a board. Um, like he's getting checks in the mail. Like this is just an extra thing. And so I think that's why I like him. But yeah, there's definitely like these templates for like how to do YouTube videos, especially in the skateboarding niche. And I'm so sick of the Dan Corrigan style of video. So over it. Like I love when Dan Corrigan does it, but everybody else that's doing it, like just like try to come up with something unique. Because it's like it works for Dan, but it doesn't work for everybody else. Like I just yeah, I that's one thing that bothers me as somebody that genuinely like would watch more skateboard content if there was more skateboard content, but so much of it is so repetitive that I'm like I'm not even gonna bother. Um okay, I love Tom. I'd rather watch worse skaters learn. By the way, you helped me with my front shove. It still sucks, but I'm much closer to fixing them. I'm glad that I could help you. Where did that comment go? Leave it in the comments below. What was it that helped you? I'm curious. Car crash dummy. What helped you with your front shoves? What was it that I said? Hiram is rad. Hiram Park. Yeah. Hit me up. Yeah, Colton and Jacob. If I ever can go up north and it's not snowing, I'll try and remember to hit you both up. As well as Aaron, dude. This is like a whole squad right here to get a Hiram sesh. Aaron, have you skated the Hiram Park yet? John has been a favorite for a while, but everyone copying him makes sense. Yeah. Everyone copies what's successful, unfortunately, but skating on YouTube is hard to find a gap in. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it is. that sounds that sounds I don't know. I think you just have to be willing to actually try and find an answer to the question of how can I be different, or like how can I make this better than what is being presented. Like that's literally what I'm trying to do, is like I'm trying to figure out how can I present this in a way that is helpful for other people, but also I get to like learn skateboard tricks for a living, like, and like do it in my own unique way. But it's like some people aren't even willing to put in the effort to be like to think hard about it at all. They're just like, "Oh, this is how it's done." And I don't know, I just think it makes boring content. And I think that's why Gifted Hater is like popping off so good. Like, yeah, I mean, his videos always do well, and it's because he brings something unique to the table. In his case, it's almost like an enigma though, because he's just so good at just talking and shooting the breeze, and he just picks interesting topics, and he's not afraid to say things that other people won't like to hear. So I feel like that gives him a leg up. I don't think that was necessarily like strategic, but I just feel like content creators in the skate niche, like I don't know. I'm just tired of everybody doing the same thing. The meta, yeah, I know. It's 20 minutes of BS followed by saying something that is on your mind. Yeah, most can't pull it off. Yeah, no, Colton, dude, I'm not like trying to like speak bad people, but like I really let me just say this. I really respect John Hill. I think he's a really hard worker. He's an incredible skater, and I think he's honestly more talented than people give him credit. However, John, if you're watching this, you probably will never see this. And he probably would just disagree with me on this, like, but I just get so sick of him hating on like the skateboard industry and like the politics of it. Because it's like every industry has politics and it's a fact. And I like acknowledge that. But sometimes I feel like he's got so much like resentment, like he's got such personal beef with the skateboard industry. But it's like there's plenty of us that don't have beef. And in fact, we love like the core skateboard industry. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I feel like he's a little bit alienating for me, like listening to him just like rant about the skateboard industry this and the skateboard industry that. I'm just like, bro, like honestly, these people. Okay, and also let me just say this: I don't have context, so I could be like way off base here, but it feels like if he maybe had like approached it in a different way, things maybe there would have been a different outcome. But anyways, clashing of personalities. Sometimes you just don't gel with people. TJ edits. Maybe it started from the Birdhouse days. Yeah, I think so. And then it's just like I feel like he went from Birdhouse, like with Clint Peterson and David Loy, Jaws, like kind of a gnarly crew, and then went fully to the other side of the spectrum to like Revive. And I feel like it's almost like he went from like kind of like Hesh to like full lovey dovey. And he almost like I don't know, maybe the transition was too harsh or I don't know, but to me it comes across as like resentful and bitter, and I'm like, you realize like your demographic is us skateboarders. Like we still love these companies, so you like just hating on them. It's not a good look. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make me want to watch more of his videos. That's for sure. Um, Let's Roll to High School is dope too. Colton, are you talking about Logan High? Shout out Logan High, where I went to high school. Um, I watched Ashton Kelly a bit these days. Him hanging out with his crew is fun to watch too. He's pretty good at skateboarding. Yeah, I don't really love Ashton's videos, but I get why people love Ashton's videos. I feel like Ashton Kelly is really good at what I'm not particularly good at, which is like building a community and like really talking to them. That's why I'm trying to like get back on doing these streams, because the more I talk to you guys, the easier it is for me to kind of like understand like what to make videos about that like the more I understand you, the better I understand like how to like serve you or whatever. How to make videos that I'm interested in, but I know you guys would also be interested in. Like finding that balance. Um Anyways, I feel like Ashton Kelly is really, really good at that, like building that community. So shout out to him. But I personally, I don't know. And I also think it's just I'm old. I just don't. I don't know. Him and his friends just like goofing around or whatever. It doesn't really do anything for me. Hiram Sesh would be sick. Also because I love loose tricks. Okay, been having a problem. Okay, here we go. Been having a problem about not pushing myself to try different tricks, and also because I lose tricks fast. Okay, who's Alon? Leave it in the comments below. So who's Alan? Alan, we'll call you if that's your name. has been having a problem basically not being motivated to try new tricks because he loses tricks so fast. Yeah, that's perfect place to start, Aaron, is how often does Alan skate? Alan, how often do you skate? Um, I think I have the same issue, but I feel like some things just come like over time. I personally take this is my approach to skateboarding, and I'm not very good, so maybe stay away from this approach, but this is how I view it. If you can, this is like fully Aaron Cairo rubbing off on me. At least 4 times a week. Nice. Sick. Yeah, 4 times a week, that's plenty. I would say this. Every time that I skate, I have probably I have a list of tricks that I have to get through. So if I'm skate like every time I skate, I go to my local skate park and I do these tricks up the Euro. I do an ollie until I like really pop, tweak it, and land it the way that I want. Once I do that, I do back 180, front 180, back shove, front shove, kick flip, heel flip, backside flip, back big spin, tray flip. So that I think that's 10 tricks. That's my requirement is I make sure I have those 10 tricks. I do them every single session. I'll also do other stuff like skating back and forth. I'll skate the hip, do big spins, backside flips, or like skate the ledge, whatever it is. Uh, I yeah, I do these 10 tricks every time. Once I do those 10 tricks, I'm like, okay, now I can start trying other stuff. So that's my way of like almost not losing tricks is those tricks are besides the backside flip, back big spin, and tray flip, the ollie, back 180, front 180, front shove, back shove, kick flip, heel flip. Those are such fundamental tricks that I feel like if you do those every single session, you're going to have an easier time holding on to tricks because all other tricks basically build off of those tricks. So I would recommend do those fundamentals every single time you skate, and then it will help you as you go to learn other tricks. And when you learn those other tricks, because you have like the foundation, the fundamentals of the tricks that make up those bigger tricks, it'll be harder to lose them, if that makes sense. Also, one more piece of advice that Ben DeGrow said in one of his YouTube channels, and I want to make a video about this, but basically, he says this is the only skateboarding hack, and this might be on Dale Decker's channel or something, but he says that if you're trying to learn a trick, and this is what you do. Say you're trying to learn tray flips. Every single session, you try 10 tray flips. Every single session. And if the tray flips are feeling good, like you're landing them, like whatever, go on, do more. But minimum, make yourself try the new trick 10 times every single session. And then the reason is because every night when you go to sleep, your brain starts taking all of the things that it learned throughout the day and solidifying the connections in your brain while you sleep. So whatever like things your body, like nuances your body learned about tray flips that day, it's going to store them in your brain, and then you're going to wake up and carry that into the next day. Then the next day you do 10 tray flip attempts. If they're feeling good, do some more. But then, if they're not feeling good, if you do 10, it's not feeling good, just stop. But make sure that every single day you're doing 10, 10 tray flips or 10, whatever the trick is that you're trying to learn. Do it 10 times every day so that you build on the like neurological connections in your brain so that your brain has something to build off of. If you skip doing the 10 that day, you might go backwards, right? But if all you do is just do 10 every day, over time, because you're staying consistent, you're giving your brain a chance to basically, start here, build a layer, 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 and then you went from down here all the way up to here. And it's not because you spent 5 hours in one day trying the trick. It's because you did 10 attempts every day for a month. And then where you were at the beginning of the month, where you are at the end of the month, like night and day, right? So I would say don't stress too hard about like learning new tricks. Just force yourself to try 10 every single time you skate. So maybe this is what I've been thinking about doing is find 3 tricks that I want to learn and do that. Try 10 on flat ground every single time I skate. I go through, say it's frontside flips. Been wanting to learn those. I'll do 10 frontside flips. 10 attempts. If they're feeling good, I'll try more. Then I'll do 10 front heels. They're feeling good, then I'll try more. And then I'll try 10 fakie trays. If they're feeling good, I'll do more. But making myself do bare minimum 10 attempts every session over the course of a month, I think you'll find you're able to progress a lot faster. Just staying consistent, not stressing about like, oh, I'm gonna basically I'm like rambling, but basically what I'm saying is just focus on your fundamentals. Get the, the ollies, 180s, shove its, kick flips, heel flips, whatever are like the basic necessities. Get those done every single time. And then when you go to branch out, try 10 of the new trick. If it's not working, don't stress. You know what I mean? Like you try 10, it's fine. It's not feeling good that day. Come back the next day. Try 10. On the days it's feeling good, like lean into that. But don't get so stressed out about, like learning tricks and losing tricks or I don't know if that makes any sense. But I feel like that's a pretty good I guess like a strategy that I heard from Ben to Grow that I definitely want to start implementing. Colton Bassett, you have to practice what you've done to not lose the trick. Pushing yourself is just finding a trick you're in your wheelhouse, finding something you're comfortable trying it on, even if it's a curve. Puckstow says half my tricks come and go on different days. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like personally, there's not enough time in the day to go through your whole bag of tricks every day. One thing that I'm a big believer in is you need to be able to control your board, not just do the trick, but be in control of the trick. So I might do a trick and redo it and redo it and redo it until I get the one where I feel like I controlled the trick and like did it proper because it's about controlling your board and understanding how to manipulate your board. So if you approach it like that, over time, you'll be able to understand how to manipulate your board. And even if you haven't done this, whatever trick it is, in like weeks, because you understand how to manipulate your board, you're going to be able to figure it out in like no time. So I feel like it's really about like understanding, like building your board control rather than it is about like collecting tricks, this trick, that trick, the other. If you really focus on whatever tricks you're trying, controlling your board and really building up your board control with all the tricks that you're doing, I think that will do more for helping you learn more tricks than just trying a bunch of different tricks all the time. That's another theory that I have that like I that's definitely something that I live by is like I really focus on like board control, like over everything. And you watch like Ashad, I think that's what makes Ashad great is Ashad has insane board control and he skateboarding for him is fully instinctual. It's like him and the board are just doing a dance together. And it just comes down to he doesn't need to know what he's going to do next. He doesn't need to practice every trick every day because he really has just taken board control to a whole nother level. Like, anyway, so that's my 2 cents on that. In my opinion, you can't progress. Okay, you have to practice. Like, I lost my 50-50 on ledges, but I just got them back yesterday, and I got big spins, but I used to be good at committing to trick. Used to be so good at committing to tricks, bro. I would say again, it just comes down to like whatever you're not good at, try 10. If you're scared to commit to a trick, pick something that's like not super gnarly, but scary enough that's gonna push you out of your comfort zone and try 10. I think that um, it's the same kind of approach. TJ Edit says the local Joe special. Yeah, for real. I feel like I don't know this, but I feel like everybody at the skate park must know that like I have the same set of 10 tricks that I go through every single time that I skate. And then from there, I go on to other things. But um, I think I need to stop doing them up the Euro, though. I think I need to start doing like ollie up the Euro, back 180 into the bank, and then like back shove into the bank, front shove on the hip, and like start branching out where I do my basic tricks rather than just constantly doing them on the same hip over and over again. Alan, I drill my new tricks and make sure to land them 50 times on one day. Holy crap. After that, I lose them less quickly. Every time I start skating, I do every trick I can to warm up each 5 times. Holy crap, dude. How much time do you have to skate? Yeah, if you have that much time and you can land a trick 50 times, holy crap, dude. That's insane. Also, forget to have fun. I think you meant don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to have fun. It is hard to learn things you don't think are fun. The 10 tries is a great trick though. I do that all the time. Yeah. I'm excited to try that. Big difference between trying and trying, by the way. Kale, maybe you want to explain that a little bit. I think I know what you're saying, but it doesn't really come across that great over text. But I think what you mean is like trying versus uh like really focusing while you're trying. Colton, I do a bunch of flat for a warm up. I try to do harder stuff that might take a while, at least every third session or so. It depends on how I'm feeling. I usually have a trick I want to learn and start baby steps towards it at that point. Fundamentals are key. Joe's a smart man. Don't overthink it. Um, love that type from Ben. I'm guessing, Aaron, you meant to say hack. Love that type. Be the board, bro. Pretty much, dude. That's what we want. We want like a seamless connection between skater and skateboard. This is like very martial artsy, but honestly, that's how I think about skateboarding. I think of it like it's almost like a martial art. It's corny, but that's how I think. I also saw another video from him that only skating 1 to 2 times a week, you will never progress, only maintain. Yeah, Aaron. Uh, Chris Joslin said on the Nine Club, he's like, if you're not really going to see like crazy progression unless you're skating every single day. And I think that comes back to the bend to grow hack of basically every time you go to sleep, your brain builds a new layer of, it's called myelin, but basically it's what insulates the neurological connections in your brain. And you want a bunch of layers of myelin around all these neurological connections, because the more layers you have, the more you can control your muscles with precision. And so that layering, you need to sleep in order for the layers to be built. And so, like Chris Joslin was saying, if you skate every day, you'll really start to progress, because you need the layers to be building on each other. And if you don't use it, then you lose it. So consistency is definitely the biggest thing. How long have you been skating? Experience plays a role as well. Yeah, Alan, how long have you been skating? Kale Williams, take each try with the intention of landing. Think about what maybe went wrong on each try. Yeah, I'm sure you probably already do that, but if you're not, definitely that's a must. It's scary to try 5-0 on a ledge. How do you just send it? Bro, do not ask me. I am the least 5-0 guy. I like sometimes I used to really like back 5-0s and then I lost them. Front 5-0s are scary for me, but um, I would say just find something small. Do you know what? Here's a hack for you. David Reyes was on the Nine Club, and he was talking about his hack for learning ledge tricks. They were asking him. He did tray flip nose blunt on Clipper, and they were asking him like, "How do you even go about learning that?" And he said that it took him like years to learn to land the Clipper tray flip nose blunt, and he got obsessed with tray flip nose blunts. And he said that the way that he broke it down into learning the trick was he literally would start on flat ground and do tray flip into a nose blunt, like on flat ground on a crack, tray flip nose blunt. And then once he could like do that consistently, then he took it to one of those like pyramid parking curbs and just tray flip nose blunt, tray flip nose blunt. But like those parking curbs are only 4 inches high, like they're tiny, right? So tray flip nose blunt, tray flip no, and then from there, he took it to, a small flat bar and then a bigger flat bar and then maybe to like a ledge and then, down something. But basically, he literally started on flat ground. So I would recommend if you're trying 5-0, roll really slowly up to like a crack and pretend the crack is like the edge of the ledge. Try and pop and land into a tail press, like a 5-0 position on the ground. Obviously, if you go too fast, you're just gonna like razor tail and slip out. So go really slow, but practice that jump to landing on your back leg. I think is really really gonna help you. And then from there, take it to a curb. And same thing, go really slow, but that feeling of jumping and landing with all of your weight on the back foot, so that you can learn to stand up on the 5-0 and then slowly add speed from there. But I would say just be very like take it, start really really small, get really really good at doing the smallest thing, and then slowly like let it build. If you have the fundamental, you can do it on ground, every time, and then you can do it on the curb every time. If you have the fundamentals down, scaling it up to a ledge is not going to be that big of a deal for you, I think. Um, okay. Thanks for this. You are so articulate and rational. Gotta go, but appreciate you. Thanks for showing up, legend of Rick G. Um, drag your tail. Yeah. There's no point in popping 10 tray flips if you aren't working towards actually getting those feet on the board. Yeah, that's true, Kale, but that's what like that's assumed in what I was saying is basically you're trying to land 10 tray flips. Like you do 10 repetitions of trying to land a tray flip. So maybe I wasn't clear about that, but um yeah, you're basically trying to land the trick you're trying to learn, give it 10 repetitions. If it's feeling good, you feel like you could land one or it's you got some momentum, then try more. But minimum try and land the new trick 10 times every time you skate. Also, it's an automatic W having a session, just getting to know your board and better. Yeah, I think that's super underrated. A lot of times, it's like, say I haven't skated in a while, I'll literally go to the skate park and I won't have any tricks in mind. I will literally just ollie everything and really like focus on lifting and dipping my board and really feeling that connection between my feet and the board, like really getting clean popped and dipped ollies. And I will not move forward with my session until I feel like I have a good connection to my board. And sometimes I'll spend like 20 minutes just doing ollies. And again, like if I'm skating consistently, then I probably won't do this. But say I haven't skated in a few days or I'm feeling super off, I'll just be like, reset. I just need to feel my board again. And once you start feeling the board and feeling the timing with your ollie, that starts to bleed into like everything else. So, like Aaron's saying, taking a session, getting to know your board, even if you've skated with your board and you're just feeling like a little bit off, just taking some time to like establish that connection between your feet and your brain and the board and everything. Like, if you don't have that and you still continue to try and push yourself to learn things, you're probably going to get hurt or really frustrated. So obviously, like, board control it, and yeah, that board feel is number one. You need to get to know your board before you start like thinking that you can progress. Then trying manualing when you're comfy. Yeah, I feel like manualing is definitely, I mean, it's not the same, but it's pretty much the same as 5 Os. I got nose manuals, but I can't really land them consistent. I just give up on them. I mean, just do, like, push yourself. That's all there is to it. Like, you don't need to land the trick, but like basically, if landing the trick is the finish line and you're right here, you need to figure out what are the like benchmarks between here along the way to here, and create those benchmarks for yourself, and those need to become like landing the trick to you. Like, you need to mentally be like, all right, today all I want to do is manual this far, or today all I want to do is focus on like popping out, like olling up and then getting into a nose manual and popping out, like doing the last half of the ledge. But basically, like, do something every session that is like a milestone leading you closer and closer to the end goal of landing the trick. If you get too obsessed with landing the trick, you will be distracted from what you need to act like, the things you actually need to learn along the way to landing the trick. So, like, don't get so obsessed with the end goal that you can't stop and think about what would be the stepping stones to get there, because you can't jump from here to there. As much as you're looking from here all the way over to there, just looking isn't going to get you closer. You need to look at, where do I need to step, to get me one step closer. It sounds muscle bro-y, but each rep better than the last. Yeah, that's definitely not just doing the reps, but making the not counting the reps, but making the reps count, kind of thing. For about, okay, you've been skating for 2 years. You're so good last time. Yeah, Colton, dude, I lost my back. I lost my back 50s like today. I like was trying to. I've lost back 50s and back 5 Os. Like, I can do them. It's just like before I could do them every try, and now I don't know why. I need to start. When I learned back 50s, I literally did what I was telling you guys earlier. There's the little curb at my skate park. I just did them over and over. Every time I showed up to the skate park, I would do like 5 front 50s, 5 back 50s on the curb. And that gave me the like fundamentals to then bump it up to the ledge. Anyways, I stopped. I don't know what happened. I stopped doing that though, and for a while it didn't bother me at all. I still had great back 50s and back 5 Os, and then randomly just started losing it. But I'll get it back. I just need to take some time, get back on the curb, and the beginning of the session, just start small, basically, just get the reps back in and get the feeling for it again. I just had a kid, so I can really only skate 2 times a week right now, but to be honest, I still feel like I'm progressing. Hell yeah. That's what's up, Dan. Old dog here. Go at your own pace, and the more comfortable you get on your board, the more tricks will come. Yeah, I just think it's all about board feel at the end of the day. You get comfortable with bailing, and it begins a cycle. Either come back later or do something different. Is what works with me. That's a good point. You don't want to build bad habits. I think that's another point to like why Ben DeGro's 10 try rule is like so good, is because it's like anybody can focus really, really hard on doing 10 good attempts, right? But if you start trying 100 attempts, your 100th attempt is probably going to look pretty crappy compared to your first attempt, right? So it's like, rather than trying so many in a day that you start developing bad habits, just doing 10 perfect attempts every time you skate is gonna help you stay away from building bad habits. That's something I never really thought about, but that's a really good point, Colton. Let's see. Manual tricks are the most aggravating things in existence. Yeah, I don't know why people do them. To be honest, I don't even think they look that cool half the time. I would rather see a ledge trick. I don't get the manual thing. Like, obviously, everybody gets the manual thing. If you skateboard, you understand how hard it is and whatnot, but it's like how hard it is for how, cool it looks. I just I don't feel like it's worth it. TJ edits, "Was that a dig, Joe?" No, dude. That's not a dig, it's just not my thing. Everybody's got their what they like about skateboarding, but manuals are definitely not mine. But it is like a, what do you wanna call that? Like an insecurity, like, in the back of my head, I'm like, "Man, you really suck at manuals. At some point, you gotta figure this out, Joe." I'm insecure about my manuals. Um, when is the Grant Taylor frontside air breakdown dropping? Bro, someday, someday I need to learn to skate tranny for sure. I Here's my hot take. I don't think transition is that hard. I think it's risky, but I don't think it's that hard. And I think you just need to start really slow. Like we've been talking about, street skating is way more forgiving than transition. Um, I think if transition, like if you learn how to fall correctly, transition is way less sketchy. But if you get broke off on transition, that is just your day is over pretty much. Like, yeah. At least for me, like I don't do well taking slams. Um Shadaman Chowdhury. How long have you been skating? So that's a hard one for me to answer. So basically, when I was 7, I was given a skateboard and I skated. I mean, I had a skateboard, I knew how to skate it, but then when I was like 10, I started like trying to learn how to kickflip. And then by the time I was 13, I could kickflip pretty good. I mean, like little kid kickflip. I could burial flip. I could fakie kickflip. I could half cab. I could big spin. Just do all like the little kid tricks. And I made like a sick little homie skate video with my mom's digital camera. So sick. Lost it. Super bummed. But yeah. So I skated for that like 5 years, but 3 of them I was like actually like trying to like learn tricks and be like better at it, not like suck completely. And then I stopped and I stopped skating from the time I was like 13 until and I like dabbled a little bit, but I never like really was like I always had a skateboard, but I was super into soccer. Like soccer replaced skateboarding for me from the time I was 14 all the way till I graduated from high school. And then I got really into tennis. So random, dude. I just like learning things. Anyway, so basically I stopped for 10 years and then started skating again when I was like 21, 22. I think probably like 22. And then I've skated off and on since then. I'm 28 now, so that's 6 years, but yeah, like I've had 2-year gaps, like I don't know. I started this YouTube channel because I was sick of like taking breaks from skating because of life and stuff. And I just figured that this would be the motivation for me to never stop because consistency is the number one thing to get good at skating. So I was just tired of that. Tired of sucking. And I still suck, but like I feel more comfortable on my board than I've ever felt. And it's because I'm putting in the work like, on a very consistent basis to get that board control, and that goes away if you're not consistent. So luckily this YouTube channel is like a good push for me to stay consistent with it, and then probably in 10 years I'll give up because I don't know, probably just give up, find something else. But I really wanted to find the limit for myself in terms of skateboarding before I get too old and like my body starts really breaking down. So, um, same manuals, rough and underwhelming. Yeah, exactly. I feel like underwhelming is the right word for me to describe manuals. Transition is more scary than anything. Bro, I landed my first six there yesterday and I was so hyped. I think with the fear of drops, just go small and keep doing drops off higher things. Yeah. As far as like drops go, seriously, it's so funny because you literally can like do it incrementally. Like just start with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like if you do a 4 stair 100 times, you're not going to be scared to do a 5 stair. Like I promise you. You do a 5 stair 100 times, you're not going to be like scared to do a 6 stair. Coming from somebody that's only ollied a 6 stair, jumping's not really my thing, but like um I know that that's true. Just the more you dial it in, jumping down stuff is not complicated. You're literally just jumping. Like it's just really like straightforward. um yeah, doing flip tricks down stuff is definitely, but no, at the same time, it's like, look, if you kickflip a 3 stair 100 times, you're not gonna be scared to do a 4 stair. You kickflip a 4 stair 100 times, you're not gonna be s you know what I mean? I think it's just repetition, but I guess the issue is it takes a toll on your body, so it's hard to get the repetition. You have to be, like, smart and not try things that are gonna get you hurt. So it's yeah, I guess it's just like the same concept, but more consequences. So you just have to be like more careful. I agree. Manuals are very rough and very underwhelming looking, but man, do they feel good when you get a good one. Yeah. Damn, shots fired on transition skaters. No, dude, like it's sick. It's so sick, and I respect it because if somebody's skating transition well, you know that they have paid the price for that. You know that they've taken slams. You know that they've faced a lot of fear. Like the number one scariest thing when you're skating, like learning to skate, is dropping in, right? Like that's freaky. And transition skaters are dealing with variations of that constantly. So I much respect to it, but it's like, is dropping in that hard? No, it's just scary. It's just figuring it out, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just don't think it's all about, necessarily like the skill of it. It's more just like learning the finesse and yeah, just getting comfortable. Let's see, have you tried Jamie Foy's shoe? Yeah, I have. I tried the slip-on version. I didn't like it. It's too thin. It's like a Vans slip-on, but thinner. Yeah, I didn't like it. His regular shoe looks sick, and I've heard it skates different. So I would personally, if you do get a Jamie Foy shoe, get the shoe like the lace version, not the slip-on. Same, to be honest. Lost a whole hard drive of my high school skating to a water bottle. Get wrecked. That sucks, TJ. Uh, it's really hard for me to go out and skate consistently because my mom is strict about me not being out in the streets, so I can only skate at the local skate park. Yep. Well, do what you gotta do. All right, guys. I've got to go. It's been fun hanging out, but I am ruining the family's schedule, so I will let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out. Make every day Friday. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.